Okay, guys, welcome to the tarot portion of this reading. I hope you enjoy. So, I will be, first of all, reading off the questions. This is pre written, so I'm not like holding the cards right now. I've done the reading before and I am recording it right now. I just like to do it this way. First question: why did he decide to support Trump and Russia for the elections? Remember, this is all alleged. Okay, so for the first card, I got the Hanged Man, and this told me that they were looking like Russia was looking for people to cause discord in America. And this is a common thing when you look at like Russia's intentions towards America and the things that they do, allegedly. Like, if you look at the article that I posted, that is just their intention. He felt like he had to support Trump because he was supporting Gaza, right? And Trump was saying, oh, I'm going to, stop the wars, no more wars, and whatever, whatever. And he was getting paid millions of dollars to do this. He wasn't like a huge Trump supporter, but he was doing it in a very subtle way, just like I mentioned in the intro, right? So yeah. Um Now these are some questions, additional questions that I asked Archangel Michael. I'm like, does he have money issues? Like, he makes tons of money from Twitch. Okay, we know that he makes millions from Twitch, and we're not even like talking about YouTube yet. He must be making millions from YouTube as well. So I was like, does he have money issues? Like, what is going on? Why do you need more money, right? Especially for somebody who claims to be a socialist. Why do you need so much money? The cards that I got Eight of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, and Five of Pentacles. So he has a fear of going broke because he is afraid that his platform can be taken away from him at any time. He doesn't have any money issues. And the other thing is, and I also asked him a similar question, why is he so money conscious, And I got the King, Queen, and Page of Swords. It's referring to like the members of his family. So that's his mom, his dad, and his brother. So he's trying to take care of them basically. I think his parents are retired at this point. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's what's going on. So question number 2. Why does he do leftist content if he does not follow it? This is about to be a long one. We have the Queen of Swords, Two of Pentacles, and Three of Wands. So this is like in the beginning of his career, of his Twitch career. Like, his mom and brother encouraged him to start making this type of content because they wanted him to start making, enough money for himself. They just wanted him to have a job, basically. Because he and his family have been broke to the point of homelessness before, and they felt like it was the only way for him to make money. Now, this is interesting because I do remember him saying something to the effect of, well, not to the effect. He was in an interview and he was talking about that one time that his dad lost a lot of money, like he lost all of his money. And I assume that at this point they were in America. And so this is probably referring to that time. So, financial trauma, basically. And he's a Capricorn, so that, that just amplifies it. Capricorns do not like being broke. We have the Tower, the King of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles clarified by the moon and the sun. So compared to the type of content that he used to do in the past, this type of content, the leftist content, can help him survive scandals and keep making money. So people can look at his other videos and say like, "Hey, he's a good person." They give him the benefit of the doubt, so they forgive him easier despite his many mistakes and hypocrisies, right? So every time Hassan has a scandal or something, people are like, "Oh, but he's a good guy. He does this, he does that. Look at his older content. He's always had this stance." And a lot of his mistakes and stuff get brushed under the rug very, very easily. But it's like, how many mistakes can you make, right? At a certain point, you just have to stop doing that and also stop giving men the benefit of the doubt. Okay, just stop. There are so many women who are much more consistent with their values, even though they're not perfect, but they're much, much more consistent with their values. So I there's no reason to give men the benefit of the doubt ever. So the 5 of wands, I pulled 3 or 4. I pulled 4 rows of cards for this. So we're on the 3rd row. 5 of wands, 2nd of pentacles. I'm sorry. 2 of pentacles, 3 of wands. His beliefs are quite different from the rest of his family, right? So he was born different from them. So they are leftists. Like what spirit was showing me is like it's almost like people are born with inherent values or like values that they lean towards. And they were telling me like his family leaned towards more leftist values and he was not the same. He was leaning, more misogynistic and kind of right wing, right? Okay, so like his soul's personality is naturally misogynistic and patriarchal. And I'm reading what I wrote down right now. Every soul has an energetic signature, and that includes things that we have an affinity for. Okay, so this work makes them part of him and willing to do anything for him now. They're extremely supportive of him and very loving. And they think that the work that he has done has helped him to evolve spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. So we're on the last row of cards right now. Emperor, 7 of Cups, Ace of Wands. He's able to hide his behavior really well from his family. I don't know how he does it, girl, but he does, allegedly. Does he genuinely care about Palestine? And I got the Knight of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and the Hermit. And he really does genuinely care. He cares so much that it's to the point where he wishes he could go over there and do something himself. So he is genuinely hoping that bringing coverage to the issue would have helped them. The war makes him sad and upset, and he's actively trying to find different ways to help them, even if it feels like all avenues aren't working. Okay. Okay, y'all. Get ready for this one. Get ready for this question. Does he genuinely care about Black people? Girl, this one got some lore behind it. The Fool, the Chariot, and the Star. He does care about Black people, but it's just that he finds it difficult for some reason to talk about Black people and their issues without crossing boundaries or saying something racist. Now, I know people are going to be like, girl, you just said don't give these niggas the benefit of the doubt. I know. This is what they're telling me, girl. I don't know. People are very complex and contain multitudes. So, you don't have to, if this is racist to you, then, you can do that if you want. You can think whatever you want. Personally, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't really care, honestly. Um, because I don't, interact with him or his content anymore. So I'm just like, okay. So anyway, let's continue. He's quite ignorant when it comes to Black issues and understanding the nuances. But when he defends them, it does come from a genuine place, right? So he feels like now, these are inner feelings. Like this is like something that he would probably never say out loud. He feels like the Black community is self-destructive and wishes that, that is something that they could fix about themselves. So here's the tea. He had a Black girlfriend when he was in college, or friend when he was in college. So, and this girl introduced him to more leftist topics. And the reason why he subconsciously attracted a woman like her is because of his mother's characteristics. So, if you know psychology, people attract their opposite sex parent, right? Most of the time, the parent that you're closest to. And we know that he's very close to his mom, right? His mom still cooks for him every day, right? So, and he rejected anyone who made fun of her dark skin. I found that to be so just like, what is it? It's not profound. It's just like very, very interesting. I don't know. Just very weird. Anyway, and there are people who have noticed that Hassan has read a lot of actual, like, literature from Black activists. So this is probably where that comes from. I'm getting chills thinking about this. This is so weird and, like, left field, but it also makes sense. So, yeah, it's a lot. All right, so I do my readings in portions, and I asked an additional question around November 30th, 2025 to December 2nd. I do my readings in portions. Okay, did something happen? So I got curious, of course. Did something happen between him and his Black ex girlfriend that made him hate Black women? The answer is yes. I asked what happened. I got the Eight of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, and the Emperor. So both of them had completely different ideas for the direction of the relationship. She wanted to get married and have a child, but he didn't. And he wanted to have a threesome, but she didn't want to. And there was a very bad argument, a very bad blow up because of this, with both sides saying very hurtful things to one another. And so there's a lingering hurt. He has lingering hurt feelings because of that. And so she wanted a child, and I pulled additional cards: the Empress, Two of Swords, the Six of Wands. She wanted a child, and he didn't. For some reason, this was very important. Uh, his mom did not want him to continue the relationship as well. Okay, and y'all, here's the thing, right? At the time, he was more angry about this than hurt, because he felt like a Black woman is just supposed to do what he says. Oop. However, he doesn't feel this way about Black women anymore. But that's just a common, not common, but it's a very racist mindset. You know what I'm saying? It's a very racist mindset. And I'm not sure if the spirits are implying that his mother did not want him to continue the relationship because she's Black or because of something else. I'm not Is that what they're saying? That's probably it, but I'm not sure. I'm not I didn't really get confirmation on that, but, like, because it's here, I kinda wanna make the connection, but also I'm not sure. Anyway, I think about it because it's like, where did he get all of these racist notions from? It could be from his family, and that's probably why she didn't want her to get with him, right? So that's what I was thinking. I will confirm. So we have the Temperance and the Ace of Pentacles. So he lied to them, both the ex-girlfriend and his mom, about wanting the relationship to go down a serious route, right? Whether consciously or subconsciously, I didn't really get it at that point. He saw Black women as women not to be serious with, but just to have sex with, common racist notion that some white men have. Um, but the spirits are telling me that he has since recovered from this situation, and he has learned to value Black women more since that time, right? So he's reflected on his thoughts and words from that situation, and he has worked to change them. Okay, through his line of work, he has also engaged with discourse that has helped him to learn more about Black women, and that has helped him to change his opinions. Girl, that was a lot. That was a lot. That shook me when I was doing that reading, and it's shaking me now as I'm reading it. Like, oh God. Okay. Yeah. So there's that. So I don't know if anybody knows who this girl might be. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't like an almost relationship. Maybe they never actually got together, but who knows? But I do believe this. I do believe this happened. Okay. So, all right. Question number 4. Does he genuinely care about LGBTQ people? So we have the Page of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. While I don't see that he has anything against them, he didn't want to talk about their issues on his streams because in the past he only used to speak about political issues. And he didn't think like LGBTQ rights was a quote unquote political issue, right? Like, so he thought it was irrelevant, basically. And he only started talking about it because people on social media were criticizing him for not speaking up about it. And then later on, he found it profitable to speak about these issues and to pander to them. So I asked about Austin because, Austin is his friend, his gay friend. Okay. So he does like his friend Austin, and Austin educates him on these issues. They have friendly intellectual debates on these issues as well. Okay, question number 4A. Actually, this should be question number 5. The girl. Let's just roll with it. Next question. Does he actually believe in socialism? Hmm. Magician, Two of Swords, the Tsar. No, he doesn't actually believe in it. Okay. He says that, but he's more invested in being a rich influencer. Okay. So the magician talks about illusions, and he's basically manipulating his audience into believing that he is, even though he doesn't truly follow it. He does believe in taxing the rich, though. I had to ask. I asked that. He does believe in taxing the rich, but he is basically pandering. He's basically, the magician is like, I will say and do anything to get what I want. So he's just saying and doing anything for his audience to like him. Okay. Okay. What else is he getting paid to promote? So this was interesting. So I recorded this reading over several days, right? And I had a dream one night where he was screaming to his chat that he knows how to speak in a way that will make him safe for advertisers. Crazy, crazy. And then when he saw that the people in the chat were uncomfortable and waking up to the truth, like, he was manipulating them, he tried to walk it back and say, oh, he wasn't telling the truth and that he was being authentic all the time. And so he does a lot of secret ads, you know, now that I look at some of his videos, many of those coffee times are secret ads. And I remember reading this book one time about influencers, and people probably know this by now. They're not naive right now, but a lot of the stuff that influencers just show on camera, they're often secret ads, right? They're often paid to promote them, and people are gonna ask, "Oh, what are you using? What are you drinking? What are you eating?" And they're like, "Oh, it's just this, no promo, no promo." No, it's actually promo. I love this, but no promo. It's promo, baby. Okay. So, and there was a video where he turned like one of the cans he was drinking to the camera, and I was like, "Oh, that is what this is. This stream is about. That's what this stream is about." Okay. Really crazy work. I hope I saved that video. And I asked another question. Has he supported Trump during any other elections? And they didn't answer this question directly. It's so funny when they do that. They answered another question. So they told me he doesn't believe in supporting any one politician or political party. He just believes that people, including himself, should support their own communities and their family. So in terms of voting, I don't really know what that means, who he voted for. Um, so yeah. Oh my God, wait, he's an immigrant. He can't vote. What am I saying? Oh no, he's an anchor baby, right? Can anchor babies vote? I don't know, y'all. Anyway, that could probably be the reason why they couldn't answer the question. Because I think no, no. I don't know how it works in America, child. I don't know. I will look it up though. Okay, and so the last question, we're off of his personal issues for now, and we're going into politics. I should have said that before, but yeah, if you notice a switch. So, did he get the job done? Right? Meaning that what influence did his actions actually have on the election? Right? How big of a part did he play in convincing his audience to vote for red? Okay. So, we got the Empress, Justice, and Judgment. Okay. So, he definitely did what he agreed to do, right? Which is to try to convince his audience not to vote for the blue people. because of Palestine, but it did not have the intended effect, right? So, because some of his audience, like even people on Twitter, and you know the girl is on Twitter, they're very perceptive. They thought it was weird that he was critiquing the blue so much, especially since Trump was on the ballot and all of this stuff was coming out about like what they're going to do to Americans and to America. They thought it was very weird. And so they weren't convinced. Like a lot of them were not convinced. So yeah, his audience still voted blue. Okay, next question. How else has he betrayed the left or Americans? I didn't really get much of an answer for this. You know, he does this thing where he compares Americans and Turkish people in a negative way, like Turkish people are better or something like that. Okay, has he or will he face karma for this? What karma will he face for this? So we got the Five of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, the Chariot, Three of Cups, Ace of Cups, and Two of Pentacles. I got two rows of 3 cards. He's gonna lose money through subscribers and advertisers. People he's close to gossiping behind his back, saying one thing to his face but another in private, and people halting their support of him and no longer defending him as they finally see who he actually is. Okay, girl, here's something very serious. This is a very serious topic. Not recently, I think it was in January or December. Yeah, December 2025. And I did this reading on the 11th of February. So did he R word girls in college? That was a huge thing that came out that he allegedly did. Now, Archangel Michael told me no, he did not, basically. And was he chasing after girls in college? Absolutely. But I don't think that he actually he not that I don't think. The spirits told me no. Okay. Spirits told me no. End of story. Let's move on. And I did pull cards for this. The one thing, right, that is probably true is that he was chasing at least one girl to her dorm room, you know, and like I saw a vision of like him banging on a door, but the door never opened, right? So he never got in. So he never did. He never, I didn't see him do anything, right? So that's what I got on that. I don't know what the other girlies are gonna say, but hey y'all, I'm back. It's another day. All right, this section is about, or this question is about Collargate. All right. So I'm gonna ask, did he actually shock his dog, like on purpose? And is he guilty of animal abuse? And then we talk about the aftermath of that and how he handled it. So I asked this question on December 2nd, 2025, just for reference, and Archangel Michael told me yes, he is guilty of animal abuse. All right, so now I asked for the general energy around that situation. I got the Five of Swords, the Six of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. So the Five of Swords is definitely something done on purpose to harm somebody. And the spirits told me that this was a glimpse of what he does to her off camera. So like this is a regular thing that he does. And about the Moon and Chariot. Oh, this is a kind of a type of special message that they wanted to there's something that they wanted me to talk about this time in his life where like all of these things are coming to light, and this is also about like people around the world as well. So this is a time where secrets about how he treats people is coming out. Okay, his level of sincerity with others, how he moves in relationships, like the lies that he tells, the mask that he puts on, all of these things are coming out. And in general, like around the world, globally, on a spiritual level, there are a lot of stories exposing how men treat the feminine energy in their lives. All of these stories are coming out, and this is happening to men and masculine energy everywhere. So that was an interesting tidbit. I hope you guys understand what I mean. Like, that was an interesting tidbit. So this is why, like, this is happening to him and a lot of other male public figures out there. So yeah, so this is why this is coming to light at this time. So now I noticed something, and I'm sure a lot of people did too. And he was starting to talk about it. He was starting to say, is not real, is involved in creating this hate campaign against him. They were always looking for a reason to start it, blah blah blah. So I asked Archangel Michael, like, was is not real involved in creating a hate campaign against him? And he said, while the reaction started on the right wing side of the internet and a lot of the outrage was organic, this agency, they utilized that and they used both paid influencers and fake accounts to make the hate train more intense. So they're saying the hate campaign was real. It was organic. Like, some of it was not paid. Like, at least the initial stuff was not paid, but then they, paid people and to ratchet it up, to bring it up a couple notches. So anyone who's been following the situation will understand this. So yes. Okay, another question that I asked is, did he ask his friends to say something for him? Like, did he ask his friends to defend him in light of this situation? And I got the moon, the five of wands, and the ace of swords. So yeah, he did convince them to do it, to do that for him. And initially, they had a lot of conflict with him because the situation also puts them in a bad light and it makes them seem guilty by association. And it makes them, you know, it is going to make them look bad to defend this type of thing, even though he's clearly like not telling the truth. So, yeah. And they were essentially stuck between a rock and a hard place because not saying anything made them look shady. And then saying something in defense of him means that they have to lie. And then not defending him would mean that their relationship with him would suffer. So, and this is all in the public. So they thought it was easier to just put up a united front and, come to his defense. So yeah, that's Collargate. If you guys have any more questions, maybe I could do a part two. Okay, we're gonna move to the last set of questions for this reading. We're gonna look at his current career energy and the future of his career. So for the current career energy, I'm looking at like, what is he doing now? How is he dealing with the increased scrutiny? And I did this reading in November 29th. 2025. So it's been a while, but I mean, I don't know. He's a pretty consistent person, so I don't suspect that it's going to be any different. So let's go. Temperance. We have the Temperance, Page of Coins, the Four of Cups, the Page of Wands, the Four of Wands, and the Two of Swords. So for the first, so this is a row of like, this is 6 cards. So 2 rows of 3 cards. So for the first row, he's attempting to temper and control his emotions. And I get the feeling that he let them go out of control recently and now he wants to like reel it back in. So he's bringing his focus back to making money and showing up every day for work. The Four of Cups is contentment. I'm sorry. He's learning to be more emotionally mature and he's learning to like project maturity or he's starting to project maturity by appearing to be emotionally reserved and less reactive. And he's actually reflecting on himself and his career and what he could have done to deserve this level of scrutiny, which I think is kind of funny, that he didn't do that before, but So, and another little spiritual tidbit, his mother has put protection spells on him, especially as he's out and about now. Like, with at this time he was out and about with like Zaram Mamdani and stuff like that. He was really doing his thing politically. So she's surrounding him with white light and blue light. And it's part of the reason why he's much, much calmer now. And this protection magic is pushing away the people around him who don't actually like him. And so, yeah. So if you feel like he's not hanging around a lot of people right now, that's probably why. Girl, I need to have what he's having. I need that spell ASAP. I'm gonna do it. So for the second row, this is how he's dealing with it on a personal level, like I guess behind closed doors. Um, he's going to a lot of parties and events to look for new women to hook up with. But he's not looking for a committed relationship right now. Girl, when I got this, I was confused. I'm like, why are y'all telling me his business? Why are y'all telling me his business? But no, this is just like what some people with certain placements do. Like this is when I reflected on it, it was like this is what Virgo Mars people do a lot. Like no shade. It's no really. It's no shame, right? It's just no shame. But a lot of people with Virgo Mars or even Virgo placements use sex to deal with their anxiety and their pain and stuff like that. So that's why they told me that. And he feels like it's helping him. So a little TMI, but like, yeah, that's how he's dealing with it. His inner turmoil and stuff. All right, so the future of his career. Any scandals? Question mark? Question mark? Okay. Again, I recorded this part of the reading on I wrote it down on November 29th of 2025. So we have for the first row, the Knight of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. And this is talking about the people coming after him that want him to stop streaming. As I said before, I don't know, well, I made this prediction before when I was watching one of his streams. Law enforcement is looking through each and every one of his videos to see what they can get on him. Okay, so there will be rumors coming out about things that he did, but they won't have evidence of him doing those things. So they won't have like hard evidence of him doing anything. And his mom is making sure, she's working to make sure that that does not happen because this is their legacy money. Okay, so they take him down. The family might not be as financially prosperous as they are now. So she's protecting him. So I asked, will they be successful in trying to take him down? No, they will be blocked. They cannot find hardcore proof or evidence of him doing anything wrong. And when they realize they can't, they're going to move on to some other left leaning person or some other, left leaning not political, some other left leaning platform. So yeah, I'm not sure how long this will take, but yeah, that's what they're going to do. So the second row, Page of Coins, the Tower, clarified by the Four of Swords and the Queen of Wands, and the Three of Wands. So there are rumors that are going to come out about him and Valkyrie, about them breaking up and how it was a PR relationship. And then people are going to react to the fact that he's single now and he's looking for a new girlfriend. And then I got that there are going to be secrets coming out about him feeling trapped in the relationship and her allegedly trying to trap him with a child. So I don't know. I could have put I didn't do any timing for this. I would love to know when this is going to happen, but I didn't do any timing for this. But I am going to do I know this is crazy and I'm just going to I've done this reading a long time ago and the shock has worn off. So yeah, that's crazy. I think this is going to happen sometime this year or between this year and next year, probably, or 2028. So this year, like in the next 2 years, probably. Could be longer, could be shorter, but that's what I'm feeling. It doesn't feel like this is very far off from happening. So, yeah. And that's it, y'all. That's the tarot portion of this reading. Thank you for listening. You can stay tuned for the astrology portion if you want. I decided to put it last because, this is for the astro nerds only. If you really want to know why is he like that, stay tuned for that portion. And we're gonna talk about a lot about what's happening to him. Everything I say in this video is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. I don't know him personally. This is just a video. Okay. So this reading is based on a reading I did in November of 2024 when I was watching a lot of his videos to stay updated with the election. And through those readings, I found out, like with the help of Archangel Michael, that he is still the person that he was from like his bro tips era. And a couple of other kind of disturbing things. So what was bro tips? Bro tips was if you don't know, the misogynistic pickup artist type content that he was doing prior to his Twitch streaming era. And it's kind of like Andrew Tate, but like a couple notches below that. The pickup artist guys. It's just very cringy, weird stuff. And yeah, so what I learned as the year went on was that he started Twitch streaming only 4 years after the Bro Tips website failed to gain traction. Now, I believe that people can change, right? But I mean, to go from how misogynistic he was to the type of person he's now, it's a bit much. It's a bit hard to believe, right? You might be thinking, yeah, it was 4 years ago. Surely he has grown and changed from that time. But no, there's an article from 2017 that said in 2016 he was still calling himself a misogynist. So not only is he not that great, but he's self aware. Okay, so to me, 2 years is not enough to radically change your beliefs and become a spokesperson for the left. It's giving grifter at this point. And I have heard multiple sources say this website had stories on it submitted by an actual rapist. Um, no, this person said the website got shut down, but I went and looked and it's actually still up. And I didn't find any stories that were submitted. So I don't really know too much about that. That's information is kind of weird. But I did find the website, right? It was a YouTube comment that I read that from. I did find the website and it has his name and picture on there. And it links to this TYT, the Young Turks channel on YouTube. So, and the other thing is a lot of some expose videos are being scrubbed from the internet as well. Like videos about, his past and stuff. This intro is just telling you like he wasn't being satirical. He wasn't being satirical, he was being for real. And some of his fans are refuting that, saying that he was being satirical, and some of them apologize on his behalf. And to me, that's a clear sign that he lied about the situation, which means he is being a pretender. All right. Okay, so we're going to switch gears here. We're going to talk about the 2024 election in America. So this is in regards to him and his coverage of Trump and Kamala in that time. So he made Trump seem harmless and stupid and kind of indirectly encouraged young people to vote for him because he claimed that he was going to put an end to the war in Gaza. And the thing that a lot of people might not pick up is that making someone seem weak and inept, like as President Trump would be harmless compared to Kamala, who was openly supporting the war with Israel and all of that stuff, and also the war with Iran. Um, Making someone seem weak is also a form of propaganda. Okay, because as we can see, that has never stopped Trump and the people around him from enacting horrible policies. So that doesn't make any sense.
His videos about Trump versus his videos about Kamala. Notice how negative his video titles are for her and how most of the video titles for Trump are silly. During the 2024 election campaigns, according to an article I will show later, influencers were being paid not only to support Trump, but to disparage Kamala at the same time.
I found a stream of, I think it was directly after the election. He made a post about his predictions. His predictions, it was, for Trump's presidency. And one of the first things that he wrote was immediately Trump was not going to, it was something to the effect of Trump was promising that he was not going to continue any wars, but he was still going to fund Israel anyway and let them continue doing what they were doing in Gaza. Hey y'all, so editing Willa here. Here's what the post that Hassan made says verbatim. So it was like the first prediction out of his 2025 predictions. It says Trump gets Bibi to secure hostage deal where North Gaza is permanently annexed, only to re up and rearm Israel as it increases its hostilities in WB to perma annex WB. This was not something that was discussed during the 2024 election at all. Like, I've never heard him say anything about this at all, ever. In any of his posts, in any of his streams, I've never heard him say that. So it was only after, like, what day was it? January 7th? Only after the inauguration, he wants to come out and discuss the fact that, you know, Trump is actually not going to stop the war. He's actually going to help Israel, like, you know, like the US has always been doing. And it's like, isn't that suspicious? Like, things is one of the things that you can see as a viewer that solidifies the fact to me that he was subtly trying to promote Trump. Because if you had ever discussed anything like this during the 2024 election, like, people would have had a different view of him. Like, people wouldn't be trying to support him and, in order to stop the war in Gaza. So he was aware. He was aware that, like, any support of Trump, if you're a leftist person and you're like, I'm not supporting Kamala because blah, 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 she supports the war. He knew that Trump was not a good substitute. Like, even for that, even if you were making that point, supporting Trump would not make sense because he was going to do that. He was still going to support Israel. He was not going to stop funding. He was never going to do that. So to even indirectly suggest that is just crazy. What he did wasn't horrible because he should have supported Kamala, right? But what he did was bad because, one, he was playing both sides without disclosing his bias. And I mean, who would want to disclose their bias if they're a pretender, right? Two, he could have used that energy to promote things that are actually helpful. For example, promoting and donating to organizations that actually support socialist causes, et cetera, et cetera. I want to answer this question in this intro. How did you arrive at these questions to ask Archangel Michael? Okay. So this is important. Trust me, you're going to want to hear this. Okay. So at the time, news was coming out that our country, the big country whose name starts with R, was paying right wing influencers on YouTube and TikTok to promote the Orange Man, and that they were doing a similar operation in other countries to prop up right wing politicians, right? So after that, I started looking at YouTube channels a little bit differently. And even if they said, oh, it was right wing channels, I still, you know, I don't know. I guess that just opened my third eye. So I know that the Orange Man, Trump, was linked to all of these conservative news outlets, but I didn't know that money was involved. I mean, obviously, it would have been obvious. I was right, but like, it's the amount of money that's involved. So, and then I was wondering, if the Democrats paid people too, if the Dems pay people too. And so I did a reading where I learned that another huge influencer, I'm not going to name names, was being paid by the Dems to support Kamala, despite, their constant comments that there were no big companies or billionaires behind them and that they were independent media. So they were lying. And then, so that happened like in 1 month or so. And then a few weeks later, maybe a couple days, weeks later, however long, someone in Hassan's Twitch chat said that he influenced people to vote for Trump, but he denied it because he was saying that it wasn't his fault that Kamala ran a poor conservative campaign that didn't appeal to progressive people in the Democratic base enough, which is true.
I said over and over again, that the reason why this race is even close, despite Trump's campaign being overall awful, which it is, and many people are going to tell you it was brilliant. Many people are going to tell you Trump was fucking brilliant. He did a fantastic job. He did not. He did not do a fantastic fucking job. Okay? He didn't. Donald Trump lost votes from 2020. Kamala Harris lost a fuck ton more votes from 2020. And that's it. You should have been more vocal. This is on you, brother. What? It's all your fault, Hasan. I think we have a lot of trolls in the chat today, by the way, who, as always, don't necessarily care about the truth, but more so just want to like find a way to somehow make this my fault. I don't know how you think a Twitch streamer is responsible for the future of the future of the republic, but
he is skirting accountability, right? But that comment piqued my curiosity about him. In addition to the fact that I know that people are being paid, I decided to ask Archangel Michael a question about Hasan himself, right? So I asked him if he was being paid by the Dems, right? Because sometimes people can be paid to just talk about someone, whether it's positive or negative, right? All press is good press. And he said no. And then I asked, is he being paid to support Trump? And he said yes. And then my claircognizance kicked in and I asked the question, is he being paid to promote Trump by R? And he said yes. And I was flabbergasted. I honestly could not believe it. I asked several times, like I was like a deer in headlights. Like it was crazy. So I asked, like, is he aware that he's being paid by R? Like it's not another company in hiding, or it's not like, somebody, like it's not somebody else, or you know what I mean? Like, and he said, yes, he is aware that he's being paid. Like he knows, like it is the country, it is the people. He is aware. He's aware of what he's doing. I just wanted to talk about this and, give my thought process because, just for you to connect the dots and for you to see where I'm coming from and so that, we can be on the same page and have the same amount of information. Have a great day or night, whatever you're having, wherever you are in the world. Have a good day and God bless. This is the end of the reading. This is the end of the tarot portion of the reading. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found it interesting. So tell me what you're going to do now that you know this information. Tell me what you're going to do. Are you going to continue supporting him? Are you going to hate watch? Or, do you even care, girl? Because I'm not gonna continue supporting him personally. I don't know what everybody else is gonna do, but I'm not.